because they said, the concert was good overall. You guys did good. But someone was on stage fidgeting
that entire time. Like, he started.
The perfect solo isn't a performance, it's an affirmation.
Okay, enough with the stories, guys. Come over here. It's time to rehearse.
It's answering a call, trusting your accompaniment, and blessing all who witness. It's standing up straight and projecting, I see you, now see me. It's freedom, self-respect, and transcendence, showing what you are made of, that others might discover what they are made of.
I'm from New York City, born and raised, born in Queens, raised in Brooklyn. I'm raised with my mom's side of the family, which is black, but also in the summer I spent with my Hispanic side of the family. I grew up a lot in the summers, like playing Spanish music in Canarsie Heights outside, playing either drums, playing the conga with my grandpa, or riding bikes, doing stuff that kids did in the city.
I was born in Liberia, but early on, the Liberian Civil War started, and in 1993, we had to flee. And Ghana was the closest English-speaking country next to Liberia, and so we fled to Ghana, and that was a designated land for Liberian refugees, and so that's where I formatively grew up.
I'm originally from a small town in South Carolina called Andrews. We grew up in a very small house. Because it was so many of us in such a small house, I was practically raised by my grandmother who lived down the street. I grew up in her house under her tutelage. If she was still here, if she was being honest, she would say I'm a favorite, yeah.
In terms of family, we immigrated to the US as immigrant refugees, and Oklahoma became the destination for our transit. But it was a rude awakening, just coming from this idealist view of America. I started recognizing that I was black in the context of the American society, right? So people didn't see me as a black dude from Liberia or as a black immigrant or as a black refugee. They saw me as black.
I identify as a black trans man. I remember coming out as bi when I was young and my mom just, crying and knowing that I was gonna have a hard time. Like me fighting my whole life knowing that, I know people are not gonna like things, but that's their problem, it's not mine. And me being a veteran kind of gave me my own arrogance, just knowing that you have no clue who I am. Me growing up LGBT, I've always done a thing of just like being myself, and people admire that.
Let your soul blare your glorious highs and whisper your deep lows, but understand that melody is life.
1, 2, 3.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring.
Ring with the harmonies of liberty. We are rejoicing, Lord.
Sometimes melody needs a deep breath and to burst forth suffering like a river to an ocean. Sometimes it needs silence to speak. And when melody dances with rhythm, the push, the pull, that bounce, rhythm keeps you on beat.
It's okay. Come on, you got this.
Even when you are not on time.
People who are more fortunate, I believe should share the resources and knowledge that they have to other people. Every day someone can show you empathy, and every day somebody can show you that, you belong, or, you're wanted or needed or important. If my aunt never showed me compassion and knowing that he's gonna do good things, I would have never been here in South Carolina.
As a senior, there was an opportunity to go to Ghana, West Africa. But I'm broke, man. We can't afford the trips. So I remember going back to school and telling Miss Rutherford, Janet Rutherford was her name, that I'm not going to be able to go on the trip. And she said to me, you know what? I'm going to take care of your trip. And I was able to go to Ghana, and I wouldn't have had that experience but for someone looking out for me.
One of my closest friends, one of the things that he said to me that still resonates today, he said, you know, you're a very resilient kid, but sometimes you can use resiliency to push you forward, not always pull you up. And so that really resonated with me because it takes a lot of energy to pull up. But if you use that kind of resilience and like that determination that you have to always bounce back, to just push yourself ahead, incrementally you'll find yourself inches and inches and inches ahead. And so for me now, purpose is just really creating access for people. I want to build an innovation hub for Liberians. Given my experience and access, I want to be able to bring those learnings back to Liberia. When I go through life and I think about myself, I try to be authentic as possible so that somebody somewhere can see themselves in me and identify and hopefully, you know, be encouraged to do more.
Other people not knowing I'm trans maybe may not understand why do I have such a robust perspective of things. It's empathy, it's sympathy, it's just showing care for everybody else. I had a guy come out to me at work, just came to me, said thank you, and it was just like, I've come out, I finally feel comfortable enough to come out now, and if I'd never seen you before, I would have never been comfortable to do this because you're able to be yourself and no one's judging you here for that. Everything matters to me, it's all the little things that count.
We have a motto that I live by, and a lot of the brothers in my fraternity live by as well, that says, lift as you climb. We're all out here grinding, we're all trying to do better every day, but in that process, you need to be lifting other people up as well.
Something powerful happens when our voices come together, when diversity of tone creates a unified force.
Come on.
Harmony.
When our rejoicing rise, high as the listening skies, let it resound loud as the rolling sea.
Ah, excellent.
When symphony meets synergy, that's harmony. When I am because you are, that's harmony. And the best part about harmony, it is sovereign to volume. No voice ever has to fight to be heard.
It's critical that you lend your voice to people so that they can have space to breathe, they can have space to see themselves, and they can have space to have joy.
A legacy that I would like to leave back is to continuously empower others while being yourself, unapologetically. Being yourself is kind of like what always gets you, it'll get you further than you think it will. It'll change more hearts and minds than you think it will.
I think the Bible verse says something like God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. The way my grandmother would say it is she would say, baby, the humble child tastes the grace. The humble child tastes the grace. You see me smiling as I say that because it's just a big part of who I am. I recognize that I would not have achieved, I would not have been exposed, I would not have had the experiences that I've had, but for sacrifices that other people have made.
When people think about my life many years from now or when I'm gone, I want it to be that he lived his own life. I brought my energy and I did my best to kind of create positive change for the people that I interact with or the people around me.
If I were to leave a legacy behind, I want it to be a legacy of giving back, of a deep recognition that you stand on the shoulders of people who have come before you. And not just to accept that and appreciate it, but recognize that with that comes the responsibility to do the same for others. I speak positivity into my kids' life on a daily basis. I remind them that they are great, they come from greatness. The greatness that they come from came from greatness. Truth is a big part of who we are as a people, is a big part of our value system. And if someone is telling you that you can't do something, that probably means you can, or at least you should try.
I love that statement, lift every voice, because something I often argue about is everyone must be heard and everyone is valid.
Nipsey said it best, the greatest human act is to inspire. Lifting your voice is inspiring people through actions, deeds, in words. And so all the things that I do, I try to do that.
Today and every day, we lift every voice. That's harmony.